Hi, here we have our Kukirin G2 Master, which, as you can see, we use in the winter, in the snow, in the mud, literally everywhere. And we did some tunings to it. For example, we took off the rear fenders and put the light there, so it's more visible because we raised the suspension and it was really low. So we also put the front fender to the rear and it throws up the mud. Sadly, we can't do anything about it unless we make a specific 3D model, print that, etc, etc. And for now, we put the small fender from the rear to the front because. And now we got another front fender to put here so it looks better and protects from the mud a bit better. That's
very big difference, I think. We already changed all the screws. This is stainless steel screw because the original one is Loctite in and very hard to
move, and they also strip very easily. They're very weak screws. So now let's unscrew this, put on the new one, and then of course clean the scooter. It would be better if you clean the screws and the scooter first, but we're doing it like this. We're going to clean it afterwards. So unscrew the 4 screws. So now we took off the 4 screws and the fender. It's the same thing on the rear, except with the fender that has the light. For that you have to take off the 2 nuts and take it off that way. Now we're going to spray some WD-40 into the holes so we can screw in and unscrew the screws easily without them getting stuck and stripping them and having to go through all of that trouble again. Because yes, the first time we removed them, even though they were brand new, one of the screws stripped. They're very low quality. And now it's as easy as putting the 4 screws back with the fender, and that's it. Thankfully, this is one of the few upgrades which are really easy to do and can be done in under 5 minutes. So now here's how it looks with the new fender on. As you can see, it's the same in the front and the rear. We're also thinking about getting the G2 Max's fenders on the rear so it doesn't throw up the mud at you. Because when I ride in or on wet roads or even snow, even my helmet has mud on it, and my pants, and basically everywhere. So we're thinking about that. And we also bought some mirrors for our Kukirin G2 Master because we were tired of having to turn around every time we had to switch lanes or do anything to look out for cars. They have this weird blue tint. We don't know if it's a sticker or not. We couldn't remove it for now. And here's how they look. They're pretty decent quality, and we also get these mounts for them so they can go on the ends of the handlebars. For example, we have these lock on handlebar grips which also come with these, so we can take that out and put in this one with the mirror instead. And also we're going to have the mirror here under the handlebars instead of sticking out, because if it's sticking out, the handlebars are even more wide. They're already 62 centimeters wide, and with these it would be really wide, and like this it can barely fit into my room. Or if you're lane splitting, if where you're living in is legal, then it would also knock down people's mirrors. So yes. with the provided tool, we're going to take off this part of the old grips. With the new mirrors, they also give two mounts for different sized handlebars. And here's how the locking mechanism works. You put on this piece, which when you screw it in, it will force this metal apart, so it expands and locks on to the handlebars. Here's how the locking mechanism of the new one works. You put this one inside this. We bought it specifically for 2.2mm handlebars. That's how we looked it up on AliExpress. So you put these two together like this. You put them on the screw, and then you put this on. And when you put it in and screw the screw in, it will force these metals apart, so it holds like this. So now let's put on the other side too. We also sprayed some WD-40 into the ball joint so we can adjust it easier because it was turning really hard.
And also loosen a little this screw. Now it's moving more freely.
We're going to put some Loctite on the screw right here because when you're adjusting the mirror, it keeps getting loose. So we're going to put some Loctite on it and tighten it with a size 8 wrench. Now it's Loctited in. We're going to tighten it quite a bit because we won't be unscrewing this ever.
Hopefully.
After you put it on, don't tighten the screws. First, set up the mirror the way you like. For example, like this, or like this, or on the bottom, or like this, or really any way you like it, and how you can see well with it. And after that, tighten it. Also, thankfully, the two mirrors are identical, so there's no left or right one. Look, we haven't adjusted them really because it's not the easiest thing to do. They're good quality and everything, but the only problem with them is that they're blue and that they zoom a lot. So we're probably going to go to some store which can custom make some mirrors for this size. Went on a quick little ride through the snow and the roads are wet, and here's how I look. So yeah, as you can see, it splashes up the mud quite a bit.
Very good and very nice.